Hello, this is Allison. This video is regarding new documentation requirements for procedural sedations in the emergency department. This will go over where to find the documentation and the details of this documentation. So let's get started. You have a patient that will be having a procedure with sedation. There is no change in the consent process for this, so let's look at the pre-sedation documentation. So for this patient in room 9, we'll open up the ad hoc, and you'll see in the left-hand column here where it says ED bedside procedures. That's where all of this documentation is, with the exception of the I-view documentation for intra-procedure stuff. So we're going to click on that ED pre-sedation evaluation, and this is not changed. You're going to put your procedure, where we're doing the procedure at, so the emergency department, who's doing the procedure, if they've had any problems with sedation before, their last food and fluids, height and weight, and then you'll go on down here to the airway. The nurse and the physician can do the male and body classification together if you're not comfortable doing that yourself. Also need to make sure if they've had any previous problems with their airway, if they have any neck problems, or if they're currently in a cervical collar. And then of course the respiratory assessment is important as well. The second page, of course, is more sedation, pre-sedation health information here. So anything that's concerning should be notified. The physician should be notified. Once that part of it is complete, you should go into the I-view documentation. And you'll notice you'll have the infrequent documentation is where you'll find the sedation charting. All of the pre-sedation stuff will be populated here after you complete that assessment. The additional part of this is going to be the fire risk assessment. So you have to identify if there's a fuel source, an open oxygen, and ignition source. Well, if you're not sure what those are, you can go to ad hoc, back to the bedside procedures, and in the pre-procedure timeout, which needs to be done just prior to the procedure starting, you'll go through this fire risk assessment as well. So it gives you over here in the blue, fuel source examples, oxidizer examples, and ignition source examples. Once you do the scoring, so if you have a fuel source, if you're going to do something above the xiphoid, but you don't have an ignition source, that still gives you a low risk, but potential to convert to high risk. So if you are high risk, you will have to have your fire risk box at the bedside. Once you're done with your pre-sedation evaluation, once you're done with your fire risk, you're ready for your timeout. This is to be done right before the procedure and to be done at the bedside. And this is where it is documented. So you're going to identify the patient. You're going to identify if they have any allergies. Procedure site marked visible and confirmed by touch by the proceduralist only, if applicable. You're going to read your consent aloud. You're going to see if you have any relevant imaging labeled and displayed. Address any critical events, address any equipment concerns, make sure your fire risk is completed and verbalized, and then your proceduralist is going to state the special or non-routine steps for this, and estimated case duration, and if it applies, anticipated blood loss. Once this is all finished, the procedure can be done, and you'll do your documentation for the intra-procedure here in the I-view as it's always been done. Once the procedure is over, you'll move back to the ad hoc, where you'll go back to the bedside procedures, and you'll do your post-procedure debrief. This needs to be done after all sedations. So basically the debrief includes the following. A consented bedside procedure is complete, the confirmed name of the bedside procedure with the team, administered medications are reviewed, any specimens that might have been collected are labeled, and they're going to address any equipment concerns, and intra-procedure lab orders are completed, and post-procedure care is identified, and if any orders need placed, they should be placed at this time. This is also where you identify any complications you had during the procedure. That is all in this new sedation documentation. If you have any questions about this, please contact myself or Casey Mifflin. Thank you for watching.